I wrote Encountering Jesus in Revelation because I really wanted to equip readers to read the scripture well. I think the book of Revelation is a book that we struggle to read well, in part because it's so different from anything that is typical that we read today. It's not like apocalyptic literature isn't like any other sort of writing that we have today. And so I wrote it to help assist people in reading the scripture well. I also wrote it because I want to challenge some assumptions. What I find as a pastor in the church is that often when we do come to the book of Revelation, we come with a lot of assumptions about what it is, and assumptions that really may not fit with what apocalyptic literature is. And for that reason, I also wrote this book in a way that is designed really to challenge some of the assumptions that we bring to the scripture. Encountering Jesus in Revelation is written for pastors and for lay leaders who are interested in doing a Bible study on Revelation, in leading a Bible study on Revelation, or doing a personal study, and to do that in a way that goes deeper than like a high-level introductory survey of here are like the major themes of Revelation. So it goes deeper than a typical survey of Revelation. At the same time, it's not a critical commentary. It uses some of that research, but I have been intentional to write for readers who are not formally trained in doing advanced biblical studies, because this is the scriptures book. Revelation is a book to the church. And for that reason, it needs to be able to be studied by ordinary people in the church. And so I wrote for pastors and lay leaders who may have some understanding of the scripture, but not necessarily formal education in biblical studies. And so if that's where you find yourself, you're somebody that I think could take something out of Encountering Jesus in Revelation. Well, there are a couple of things that I hope people will take away if they take the time to read Encountering Jesus in Revelation. I hope that the people who read this book will gain some perspective as they study the book of Revelation. I think Revelation is about perspectives. There's how things look to us as we look at our world and we see the things going on. But Revelation offers an alternate perspective, what I call an apocalyptic perspective. And my hope is that readers of Encountering Jesus in Revelation will obtain part of that perspective and will be able to appreciate and to see what God is doing. And that's a large part of what Revelation does. It reveals what God is doing in our world that we might not be able to see otherwise. And my hope is that through elucidating the book of Revelation, my book will help us to see some of what God is doing in our world. I also hope that it gives us a perspective on who God calls us to be as the bride of Christ. We are the church, and Revelation is a book for the church. Sometimes what we miss, and I think what Revelation teaches us, is that we get sidetracked in our world, like the church in Ephesus. Maybe sometimes we forget our first love, and through that, it's important for us to gain some perspective on who we are and who it is that God is calling us to be as the Church of Jesus. And along with that, it's how do we live in a world that is occupied by these different beasts and occupied by sin? How do we live faithfully and follow the Lamb faithfully in a world that is held captive in sin? I think Revelation has a lot to say on that matter, and that's one of the things that I hope readers of my book will be able to take away.